All right, so what we have here is a pretty standard looking laws of exponents problem. And the key to a laws of exponents problem is really just reminding yourself that numbers go with numbers and like letters go with like letters. So A's go with A's, B's go with B's, C's go with C's. Just while they're all grouped together, just deal with them as individual chunks and don't really think of them as one big chunk. So we're starting off with our 144a to the negative second times b over 36a and then b to the negative first. So the first portion of this that I'm going to handle is I'm just going to take care of the numbers right here. And the easiest way to do that is to just go ahead and use your calculator. So we're going to pull up our calculator, and in the normal calculator screen, I'm going to start there. And for those of you with the more modern calculators, you really can just use this cool function to split this up into a fraction. So you're going to want to hit alpha and then y equals, and then we want to choose number 1 there, the numerator denominator option. And we're just going to type in the 144 and then push down and type in 36 and then hit enter. And so we can see that we get out 4 as an answer. If you didn't have this modern calculator, you can do the same thing, just typing in 144 divided by 36. And so it's still going to give us a positive 4. Had this been a decimal that you needed to keep as a fraction in order to get the right answer out of your multiple choice, you would want to just, for those of you without the cool numerator denominator button, you would then want to have gone through hitting math and then number 1 frac there, and it'll take your answer and turn it into a fraction if that's possible. If you were using the first option we tried, it'll automatically turn anything into a fraction for you, so you don't have to worry about that extra feature. So here what we're looking at is we end up just getting out 4 is going to end up staying on top right now. And when we come over here and we start working with our A's, whenever we have division going on, division is always going to be a subtraction game. And so when we subtract, we're always going to want to subtract the top exponent minus the bottom exponent. And so for us right now, we have a negative 2 as the top exponent, and on the bottom here it's not written, but we really have an a to the first. And so what we're looking at in this situation would be the top minus the bottom, which is 1, and so we'd end up with a result of negative 3. And so we end up with the value is always going to stay on top, so it'll be a to the negative third on top. We now go over and do the same thing with the b's, and so again it's top minus bottom, so the top exponent in this situation would have been a first power, which wasn't really written, but it's there, so then 1 minus, and then on the bottom we've got a negative 1, so you just want to make sure you put that negative 1 in parentheses, and then you can throw that into your calculator. 1 minus a minus 1 is really the same as 1 plus 1, so we end up with 2. And so again, our result ends up being on top here. So b is now to the second power. You'll notice that really what they want you to do is have no negative exponents on a problem like this. And what we have going on with our a term right now is we do have a negative exponent. And all a negative exponent means is I am on the wrong side. So it doesn't matter if it's on the top or on the bottom. If it's negative, it's on the wrong side of the fraction. And so on the next line, what I would do is I would write down my 4 because it stays on top, but then my a is now going to move to the bottom of the fraction, and that exponent is just going to become positive. The b is going to stay up on top, and that b is just going to stay there as a positive squared. So what we'd be looking for in our option would be the last answer here, which is 4b squared divided by a cubed.